I was at our house working out with I was working out with the same implements that everybody else was during the lockout. I was doing a kettlebell snatch workout for when I hit my forearm. And I was frustrated. I was like, this is ridiculous. This is no downfall on other implements. I think I love kettlebells. I use kettlebells all the time. But the leverage overhead, being that it was shifted back on your wrist, it's putting weight on your wrist, kind of in a weird spot, which is putting on your elbow and on your shoulder. In the fitness world, we see that people will typically have shoulder issues because of anterior tightness, anterior overstrength. And the kettlebell actually requires you to stay anterior. Because that weight is posterior on your upper body, you have to essentially activate pec minor and your front delts to stabilize that weight because the weight is shifted posterior on the arm. And I was just like, I want something I like the fact of the complexity of the kettlebell, but I want something that, for one, I can be completely stacked, right? Because that's such a thing that I've been preaching in weightlifting for so long, is how to stack your upper body in a snatch and an overhead squat and in a jerk. So I wanted something that still had that little bit of complexity. I think it does a couple things. I think, for one, it keeps people interested, which is a challenge in fitness period, is if it's almost too simple, I think people just get bored. And I'm one of those people. And that's why I was so addicted to weightlifting for so long, because it, just when you think you have it figured out, you have nothing figured out, So I just started to I literally went into my shop and built it. I didn't even draw it first. Coming from a welding background, I was just I'm going to build something. And I built it with an offset weight similar to what a kettlebell was. I put a straight handle, and I put a sleeve on top. I actually started training with it and adding weight to it and stuff like this. And at that point I was man, I wasn't even looking for a product to sell or anything. I was just looking for something cool to train, because we were all locked in our houses during COVID, and I was bored. I wanted something different. The kettlebell was frustrating me, so I just went and built something, and that was the first prototype of the Freebell.